into my garden to check and see what was growing, and it really made me just stop and think, how can we grow a more medicinal garden? What are things that we could have that could really help our bodies heal and just be healthier overall? What do you have growing in your garden?
Hey friends, I'm Heidi, the Heavenly Minded Homemaker. It is my goal to encourage and equip you to live a life of peace, of purpose, and abundance. I believe in homegrown revival, and today's video is another step down that narrow path. So before we get into it, be sure to hit that like button and say hello to Mama Naomi. Hey there friends, and welcome back. Yes, I'm still dealing with this ridiculous allergy cold, and if there's one thing that is really stood out to me after going for a solid year with major sickness coming through my home and me being relatively unscathed, is you don't realize the things you could be doing usually until something has happened, and now you're like, man, I wish there was something I had that could help me feel a little more prepared for this. And well, yes, I'm thankful for the ways that which we have been getting more prepared and doing things to be a little more sustainable and ahead of the game. I'm thankful for that. But man, this head cold, this allergy, whatever that's going on with my sinuses is not going away easily. And it has had me wiped out, so exhausted. I have rested more in the past week than probably I have in the past year, to be honest. And that's even with me being intentional to hibernate this winter. I think I've still rested more now than I did then. So all of that as I came out for some sunshine, and honestly, it's just been so beautiful. Thankfully, we got through the thunderstorms, and prayers to everybody in the area because we were hit with severe thunderstorms. We had hail and everything else going on. We had to get animals in and all of that, but instead now the storms have kind of passed. The weather has just been beautiful. I was coming out and kind of seeing the things that were in bloom and the things around the garden, and the more I was thinking about it, I was like, man, I would love to have a more medicinal garden. Now, I have done things like cultivate plantain. Most people get rid of plantain. They see it as a weed. Plantain is the most amazing thing you could use if you get bit by a mosquito. And mosquitoes eat me alive. And so when I learned that plantain works so well, 10 years ago when we moved into this home, I started cultivating it. And so I have whole areas of the property that I just cultivate the plantain. We don't mow there. We let it grow up, and it's just plentiful. I love it. It's so amazing. And so I was kind of walking around looking at different things that I have planted, which usually I plant stuff because I want the blooms. I was a florist for my professional life, and so I love having the flowers. But I was like, I know there's so many of these things that have such amazing medicinal purposes. We've looked them up before. We've used them in varying different degrees. But then I was like, what would help with allergies? What would help with congestion? What would help relieve my sinuses? There's so many things that I know I could be more knowledgeable in. I know that I could be more intentional to grow and cultivate those things. So that way our garden could, yes, be beautiful, as who doesn't love some fresh blooms, but also be helpful with medicinal purposes. So enter in the great wide world of the internet and the amazing community we have here at Heavenly Minded Home. I said, I am just going to ask you all, If you are a gardener, what do you have growing in your garden? What are you using that is medicinal? Anybody else out in Western North Carolina or just in the area out here in the Southeast? What things do you have on your property that you really try to cultivate or really look out for to bring in and to use, be it in teas or salves or just consumption, right? What is it that you're using? I think it's so amazing when we look at God's creation. He gave us so much that we can use. And now we live in a world where everything is fake. Everything is manufactured. Everything is just some sort of cocktail of chemicals that we use instead of looking to what was already provided. And yes, I'm thankful for modern medicine in many different ways, but I think we'd be wise to learn from what God gave us. And I know even simply going around the property, we've done this with the kids before as homeschool activities where we've just gone around and used Google Lens to identify different plants on our property and just reading short little snippets about that plant and what it's traditionally used for. We have a bounty of resource around us that most of us don't even realize. But there's such a lack not only of that knowledge of what it can be used for, but how to use it, how to apply it, how to cultivate it, right? How to turn it into that usable end game product that we would need when, say, we end up with ridiculous allergies or we have sinus congestion that just won't clear out no matter what we seem to be doing. Don't you think we'd be wise to be learning more about that? How to find it, how to use it, how to cultivate it? I don't know. I think in a world that relies on everything to be manufactured, part of being prepared is finding ways to be more sustainable, to not have to rely on the world's systems to help us. And wouldn't our healthcare be a huge piece of that? I think obviously this starts so much with what we eat, right? What we're using, though I think really comes in that close second. And yes, while I'm thankful for modern medicine, I'm thankful for the things that I've been taking, for the bit of help that they've been, I still think the fact that I've been changing my diet and really focusing on natural supplements like beef organs and things for the past year has been such a key piece to this. Now, I don't know what allergy is out here that is causing me to have issues like I have never had before. I have no idea, okay? I don't know. And there is so much in bloom all around me that honestly, I don't even know where to begin with trying to figure that out besides just going and having some, full spectrum allergy test, which, might be something on the horizon. But how would you start a medicinal garden? What types of plants and things would you focus on cultivating for just that general health, allergies, right? Immune boosting, decongestant, better breathing. I don't know. I don't even know where all to begin. And I feel like when you start to look into it, honestly, it becomes a little overwhelming. It is great to see those who have come before us and have put together such amazing gardens and tea gardens, things like that. I think all of that sounds so beautiful and so wonderful, and definitely are all things that I would love to see in our future. But starting from square one, where would you start? What would you do? What are the things that you would start cultivating that are natural, that God gave us, that really can be a boost to our immune systems, to our overall health, especially when it comes to things like allergies and congestion that I think more and more of us are dealing with now. I feel like things with allergies have only been on the rise here lately. And I'm sure a lot of it has to do with the fact that so many of us are in our homes all day. We don't have air circulating like we used to. We're not outside in the fresh air and sunshine as much as we should. I'm sure there's a lot of factors here into this. But man, we got to find some way to start doing better with this. And I think finding ways to heal naturally, finding plants that we can be cultivating, teas that we can be making, salves and balms that our ancestors used that we have long forgotten over the years of chemical warfare that we're waging upon our bodies. What do you have growing in your garden? What have you been checking out and looking into? You'll have to let me know, because friends, I am ready to start figuring out what from this beautiful landscape that God gave us can we be cultivating, can we be using, can we truly be healing with? Because this is no fun at all. Hi, big buddy. You taking care of your little sheepies? You're such a good boy. Yeah? You keeping them safe? Yes, you are. You do such a good job. You do such a good job, you big buddy. Hi, Mama, I see you. So I'm gonna come check on my sheep and enjoy the sun as it's setting there below the tree line. Really just looking around at the resources that God has given us. I know we have plenty of things. Again, I've come out and identified them before, and maybe I just need to brush up on it a little bit more. I know we have all of these autumn olives that grow all over our property. We have tons and tons of them. Now, maybe not medicinal, and if my nostrils would work, I could smell it. We have honeysuckle coming in bloom all over the property as well. There's so many things out here that I know have purpose, I know have use. Now to figure out what they are and start cultivating the things that we need. You'll have to let me know. What do you have going in your garden? What would you suggest we keep an eye out for? I'm gonna spend some time loving on these little sheep, and I'll see you all right back here in the next video. Hi, Ruth. You want some of these autumn olives? That's your favorite, huh? Hi, Mama. Oh, your hair's coming off, isn't it? Poor little Mary, she's losing her hair, so she looks all sorts of raggedy. Ruth, I think it's about time for you to get sheared, sweetheart. It's all warm enough now. Huh, sweetheart. So besides feeding sheep, what should we be doing with these autumn olives? Because I'm telling you, we have more than enough of them out here. I don't know. Miss Ruth thinks we should just leave them all for her. Huh, Ruthie do?